Hello YouTube, welcome back to another video. Today we're basically going to be doing our bias. We're going to be trying catching a live trade. I'll be either trading based on the trade letter grade on my eval account or my demo account. So it's going to be one of those two just based on the trade grade that we get. If you could see here, we do in fact have news Wednesday, which is today. 2 p.m. FOMC meeting. So we are about 40 minutes away from news. So we're going to do our bias. Morning's price action was pretty choppy. So I want to see if I'm able to catch, you know, a live trade and show y'all how I manage it for episode 2. And we're going to formulate our bias. As you can see, we just inverse this. We're confirming lower prices, redelivering from this fair value gap right here. BC, of course, this external range just got taken out. So what we're looking like we want right now, we're kind of stuck in between a range of two inefficiencies. If I'm able to draw this out right here, as you can see, price redelivered from this fair value gap here, but is also delivering from this fair value gap here. We swept this low. So honestly, we have to wait for FOMC. There's nothing really confirmed. If we do inverse this hourly though, by the time FOMC drops, we can expect to go for these relative equal lows here and these lows here. Or if we inverse higher, we can expect to go for the equal highs here that are resting in a fair value gap. If we look on the hourly, it's pretty much the same thing. Although on the hourly, if you look at it, we're still respecting this fair value gap, which is not really necessarily what we want to see out of price. So if price comes down and inverses here, it's a high chance it already inversed the 4 hour as well, which then we can expect lower price action. It looks like we don't really have that much resting liquidity, not really that much trendline liquidity over here though. We do have a lot of engineered buy stops, so I could definitely be looking for longs. It's been bearish for the past few days, like I called out last week. So we could also still expect lower prices, but that's what we're expecting so far for the hourly. Nothing much to really draw out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this very faint because I don't want it really distracting me. I'm gonna make this 4% opacity and like 2% opacity. So y'all can see it's very faint, but this is just to see. I'm also gonna have my power of 3 indicator on, just to see where price is gonna go. So now that we did that, all we have to do is sit back and wait. As you can see, New York AM session was slop. We have this, which means if we do go into the dealing range right here and enter OTE of the dealing range with 50% being right here. I don't know any way to make it clearer, but let me actually try and make it to the right. As you can see here, we have OTE of our dealing range. Really nothing to expect. If we come and sweep these highs with news, we could expect lower prices as all the lows have already been swept. As you can see here, it's just a lot. We also have data highs right here, which we could expect to go for. So we would really just like to see price as it's going towards these clean equal highs. We would prefer bullish price action as price would also be holding these hourly fair value gaps and 4 hour fair value gap. But switching over now to ES, it's pretty much the same thing. I'm probably gonna be trading on the micro and not the mini, but it's pretty much the same thing on the 4 hour. It looks like we're close to inversing it, but we're not. Our next draw would be maybe around, it would be around, well, this is already taken, like I said. So just around here, we have a lot. We have relative equal lows here, but that's too far. We have a lot of engineered liquidity here. We have relative equal highs here. Really, the 4 hour isn't telling us much until it inverses this. If we go on to the 1 hour, we're respecting this bearish PDA right here, but we're also respecting this fair value gap right here. So until we get a move out of this, we can't really, excuse me, know where we're about to go. Hard to actually pull this up because it did sweep it, but only by a tick. If I were to pull it up right here, so what those equal lows by a tick, but I wouldn't really consider it a sweep unless I see an SMT. So going here, yeah, there was no SMT for this. So really, it's not really telling us much. ES, kind of the same bias. We're right now just stuck in between two inefficiencies. So we're gonna also de-risk. This is not something we would usually trade. We don't like trading in this slop, so we're not gonna force any trades. As you can see here, if we put on our kill zones, we are right now below true day open, and we also have AM session intact and London session intact with all lows swept. So we could go for that as well, as we did sweep those lows just as it seems by a tick. Really, we have to wait until FOMC drops, but like as you can see, we barely swept it. So we souped it. Now we're looking towards these highs. We have a lot of engineered highs right here, a lot of equal highs. So that's really what we could be looking for. Again, AM was slop. We're inversing this 15. If we hold this high time frame fair value gap, then honestly we could expect higher prices. And that's our bias. So I will be back. We don't really do bias on YM because we don't trade YM. Like we're just here to see if it's correlated. But I usually even switch this to a higher time frame. It looks like overall, I mean, it's kind of correlated, but YM has just been doing its own thing right now. You know, it's correlated. It's also delivering and holding these bullish PD arrays. So it's all just been holding. So right now we could just really start to see it if it inverses on YM, really start to go up. And yeah, now we'll just wait until FOMC drops. All right, y'all. As y'all can see, we are near the open of FOMC. Ideally, we would love to see us close below this hourly fair value gap, which would help us confirm bearish prices. FOMC manipulates us higher, tapping us into a high time frame PD array, maybe potentially sweeping these equal highs. I don't think it will get that high up, but manipulating into here, respecting this bullish PD array, or sweeping this high, which would respect in turn this 4-hour PD array. So if we are able to get that, that would be great, because then we would also presume lower, trying to go for these equal lows right here. As you can see, we have relative equal lows right here that we do want to target. If not, price could of course manipulate lower, close above here, manipulate us lower with FOMC, and then try and aim for these data highs. So honestly, that's what we're looking at so far. Nothing much, and I will come back about in 2 minutes when it's about to open. As y'all can see, I'm probably going to switch to NQ. NQ right now is sweeping important liquidity. As y'all can see, we're really getting a manipulation lower before we see higher prices. We go into the 15-minute here, and then we go into the 15-minute here. As you can see, price is just a lot of engineered liquidity. We're taking out this low right here, intermediate trend low, before tapping into this order block. So if we tap into this high time frame PD array, wow, that is a long drop. If we tap into this high time frame PD array, I would like to see how price reacts off of it. And if price gives us a reaction after sweeping liquidity, tapping into a high time frame PD array and giving us a setup for longs, then that's exactly what we'll do, especially if we get an SMT too. Looking onto the 5-minute, this is preferably what I would want to see a lot more. We want to see then this inversed on the 5-minute if it taps, creating this fair value gap. Or wow, all right, let's see here. This creates, we'll wait for the 3-minute. If this taps into the OB and then it gives us a 3-minute setup, sweepy liquidity, which is also within a discount, way within discount, we could definitely expect some more bullish prices. Let's change this to the 15-minute. We also look at it. This is our 4-hour low, open, low, and then high before we get our close, because we have a lot, and I mean a lot. Look at this data high, which barely took out these equal highs before needing to take out all these equal highs that are along here. As you can see, if I were to just, we have a lot of engineer liquidity, too much engineer liquidity that we need to take out all these buy stops right here. So that's exactly what I'm looking for. Want price to tap into that order block preferably before inversing us on the 3-minute after we took out some important sell side liquidity and hitting a high time frame for our PD array, which I'm actually pretty sure is also a unicorn model, because is it within a fair value gap? It is also would be in a fair value gap as we are right now. If it taps into here, maybe dips into here, go on to the 1 hour, tapping 2 order blocks. Oh, that's all balanced, and we will be, doesn't look like we'll be in a high time frame PD array, but for the 15-minute, this order block right here, yeah, it's all balanced. So that's what we're looking at right now. And we're just waiting to see what price does.